Floral tributes to be paid on behalf of the AIADMK to Perarinyar Anna to mark his 46th Memorial Day on 3rd February. The announced financial assistance of 5 lakh rupees presented to Soumita Day. Ms. Jayalalitha writes to the young gymnast, wishing her a speedy recovery. Tamil Nadu urges the centre to defer talks on the repatriation of Sri Lankan Tamil refugees. The news in detail. Floral tributes will be paid to Perarinyar Anna on the 3rd of February on behalf of AIADMK to mark his 46th Memorial Day. Observing the 46th memorial of Perarinyar Anna on the 3rd of February, floral tributes will be paid on behalf of AIADMK at the memorial in Marina Beach in Chennai. A statement made by the AIADMK party headquarters said, Party Presidium Chairman E. Madhusudanan will lay the wreath at Anna's memorial on behalf of AIADMK and pay his respects. Office bearers from the party headquarters, ministers, members of parliament, MLAs and members of various wings of the party will take part in the function, the statement said. Party men have been asked to pay floral tributes to Anna in states like Puducherry, Karnataka, Andhra, Maharashtra, Kerala and New Delhi, where the party functions. The financial assistance of 5 lakh rupees announced by the AIADMK Supremo Ms. Jayalalitha to take care of the medical expenses of Soumita Day, a young gymnast from West Bengal, was presented to her today. Leader of the AIADMK's Parliamentary Committee, Dr. P. Venugopal, along with B. Sengutuvan MP, while handing over the demand draft to Soumita Day, gave her the letter from Ms. Jayalalitha, who had wished her a speedy recovery. Ms. Jayalalitha in her letter said she read a news report about Soumita's health condition in the newspaper Trinity Mirror, Chennai, dated 22nd January 2015. It was very unfortunate that despite excelling in gymnastics, representing the state of West Bengal at the national level for almost a decade, Soumita was unable to pursue her dreams due to her ill health. Ms. Jayalalitha said she was enclosing a demand draft for 5 lakh rupees dated 27 January 2015 from the Purachi Talaivar Dr. MGR Trust for her medical expenses. She hoped this will be of help in improving Soumita's health. AIADMK Supremo Ms. Jayalalitha conveyed her best wishes to young gymnast Soumita and offered prayers to the Almighty for her speedy recovery. Soumita Day, who received the financial assistance of 5 lakh rupees, expressed her heartfelt thanks to Ms. Jayalalitha.
Thank you very much, Jayalalitha ji, for standing my side. I am not from your state, but she will be help me and standing my side, and I very thankful to Jayalalitha ji, and I grateful to. I want to see personally meet when I will be recover and full fit, and very much and thank you very much to Amma ji.
Parents of Soumita also thanked Ms. Jayalalitha profusely for the timely help which will take care of their daughter's medical expenses.
जयललिता अम्मा जी को बहुत ज़्यादा धन्यवाद देती हूँ, जो उसके वो जो मेरा असमय था वो मेरा साथ दिया, मेरा सर पे हाथ रखा, मेरा बेटी के सर के हाथ रखा। मेरा बेटी जो है सौमिता देव जो ठीक होगा, मैं हम सब लोग मिले उसके पास जाएंगी, उसके साथ मिलेंगी। अम्मा जी को थैंक यू, बहुत थैंक यू है।
Terming as premature, an interministerial meeting to be held on Friday in New Delhi to discuss the issue of voluntary repatriation of Sri Lankan Tamil refugees in Tamil Nadu, Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam called upon Prime Minister Narendra Modi to defer the meeting for the present. Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam expressed concern in his letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi regarding the future of the Sri Lankan Tamil refugees currently living in Tamil Nadu. The Ministry of External Affairs has written to the government of Tamil Nadu inviting a senior officer of the state government to attend an interministerial meeting on 30th January 2015 on the issue of voluntary repatriation of Sri Lankan Tamil refugees to Sri Lanka, he said. The Chief Minister pointed out that even now, refugees who want to leave for Sri Lanka on their own volition do so. Therefore, the meeting could be perceived to be an exercise to encourage Sri Lankan Tamil refugees to leave for Sri Lanka. Further, O. Paneerselvam placed on record that the conditions in the northern and eastern provinces of Sri Lanka were still not conducive for the refugees to return to their native land. A total of 304,269 refugees came to Tamil Nadu in 4 phases from 24 July 1983 till date. No refugees have come into India since 2013. So far, about 212,000 refugees have gone back by their own arrangements with government assistance and with UNHCR assistance. At present, there were a total of 102,055 refugees belonging to 34,524 families still in Tamil Nadu, of whom 64,924 belonging to 19,625 families were in 107 refugee camps. Tamil Nadu has been very accommodative of the Sri Lankan Tamil refugees. It has been the endeavour of this government under the leadership of Puratchi Thalaivi Amma to ensure that the Sri Lankan Tamils living in refugee camps in the state were enabled to live a life of dignity, safety and security, he said. Hence, a momentous decision was taken by Puratchi Thalaivi Amma, which was announced in the Governor's address on 3rd June 2011 to extend the benefits of all welfare schemes implemented in Tamil Nadu to the Sri Lankan Tamil refugees. Accordingly, the monthly cash assistance to refugees residing in camps has been enhanced substantially from 400 rupees per month to 1,000 rupees per month for the head of the family, from 288 rupees per month to 750 rupees per month for adult members of the family, and from 180 rupees and 90 rupees per month to 400 rupees per month for children below 12 years, he said. In addition, 20 kg of rice is being made available every month free of cost to each family. Each family is also entitled to purchase sugar, wheat, dal and oil under the public distribution system at subsidized rates. Sri Lankan Tamil refugee children are eligible for free education up to class 12 and also receive textbooks, notebooks, school uniforms, cycles, noon meals, bus passes, laptop computers and accessories such as geometry boxes, color pencil boxes, etc. free of cost, as in the case of other students in Tamil Nadu. The Chief Minister observed, these students have also been made eligible for admission to professional colleges and arts and science colleges. They are also eligible to avail of scholarships and admission to government-run hostels. The refugee families have also been made eligible for various social welfare schemes, including the monthly pension of 1,000 rupees under Social Security Scheme, Family Distress Relief Scheme, payment of 25,000 rupees in the case of death due to accident, the benefits under the Muvalur Ramarathinam Ammayar Marriage Assistance Scheme and the Dr. Mutthalakshmi Reddy Maternity Benefit Scheme, the Girl Child Protection Scheme and the Mahalar Thittam, formation of women's self-help groups. In addition, the government has also sanctioned 25 crore rupees for upgrading the basic amenities in the refugee camps, including drinking water supply. 19.86 crore rupees has also been sanctioned for construction of 1,655 durable houses at a cost of 1.20 lakh rupees per house in selected camps. All these measures have ensured that the Sri Lankan Tamil refugees have been able to live a life of dignity in Tamil Nadu. The Chief Minister further said that his revered leader, Puratchi Thalaivi Amma, has repeatedly called for justice to be rendered to the Sri Lankan Tamils. The Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly has also passed various resolutions to ensure this. In this context, recent political developments are a cause for hope and have raised expectations of reconciliation. However, there are still apprehensions about the presence of the Sri Lankan army in Tamil areas. The atmosphere of fear, intimidation, and of possible human rights violation has not entirely dissipated. There is a concern that Tamils could be reduced to a minority even in their own traditional habitation areas. There are internally displaced Tamils in Sri Lanka who are still living in camps, he said. The positive intention of the new government in Sri Lanka to ensure rehabilitation and reconciliation were yet to be translated into action, which could give confidence to the Sri Lankan Tamils living outside Sri Lanka to return. Credible and specific reconciliation measures must be undertaken, which alone can create adequate confidence amongst the Sri Lankan Tamil refugees to return to their native land. Our interactions with the refugees in Tamil Nadu and through NGOs working with refugees also reinforce this conclusion, he mentioned. The Sri Lankan Tamil refugees in Tamil Nadu were particularly concerned about the pace and manner in which the internally displaced persons with Sri Lanka were being rehabilitated. The autonomy and democratic rights of the minority Tamil population in the country must be fully protected, and they should not be subjected to further persecution and humiliation, nor their second-class citizenship status perpetuated. Only after such measures are taken and confidence restored will the refugees be able to even countenance any possible voluntary repatriation. The process of voluntary repatriation could be considered only after concrete and credible measures are taken by the Sri Lankan government and the Sri Lankan refugees in Tamil Nadu are given adequate, verifiable assurances and gain the requisite confidence to return to their native land. In this context, Tamil Nadu believes that having a meeting to discuss voluntary repatriation of Sri Lankan Tamil refugees was premature and should be deferred for the present, the Chief Minister said. Water was released from the Kelavarapalli Reservoir in Krishnagiri district this afternoon for the second seasonal cultivation on the orders of the Tamil Nadu government. This would benefit 8,000 acres of farmland. The Tamil Nadu government received requests from the farming community seeking release of water from Kelavarapalli Water Reservoir for the second seasonal cultivation. Acceding to their request, the Tamil Nadu government today released water from the reservoir. The Krishnagiri district collector and officials of the Public Works Department were present during the water release. The water release would benefit as much as 8,000 acres of farmland in Hosur. The farmers have thanked the People's Chief, Ms. Jayalalitha, for the timely release of the water. A special court in Chennai today dismissed the bail applications of former Union Minister Dayanidhi Maran's aide and two others who were arrested in connection with an alleged telecom scam. The CBI arrested former Union Minister's Additional Private Secretary V. Gauthaman, Chief Technical Officer of Sun TV Network S. Kannan and TV Group's electrician K. S. Ravi on January 21st. The charge against them was that they aided and abetted laying of BSNL telephone lines to the minister's residence in Chennai and helped in the misuse of the connections by Sun TV Network. Special Judge for CBI cases J. Krishnamurthy dismissed their bail applications. Due to the swift action being taken by the Health Department, dengue fever has been completely brought under control in Virudhunar district like it was done in Tirunelveli, Kanyakumari and Thoothukudi districts. Meanwhile, the Tamil Nadu ministers today reviewed the measures being taken by the Health Department. On hearing the news that a few cases with complaints of viral fever have been admitted in the hospitals in Virudhunagar district, Ms. Jayalalitha ordered the concerned officials to review the situation immediately. In line with her instructions, the health officials and ministers have camped in the area and carried out disease prevention methods. Following this, dengue fever has been brought under complete control in the district. Ministers S.P. Velumani, Dr. C. Vijaya Bhaskar and other officials carried out review regarding the precautions being taken in Tirunelveli, Kanyakumari, Thoothukudi districts.